one of the best things about being on YouTube is the weird and wackiness that people come out with. Okay, so what was it, like 11 days ago? St. Elmo's versus Lexington. Provided all the numbers, blah, 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 blah. And then, of course, I feel like I've argued with this numbskull before, but hey. Best case scenario, Lexington with flatline and linked laser pointer. No. We've got all the data on this from IKEA's amazing work. Like literally Lexington. I don't agree with Sadist being up here because you're only gonna have like a quarter of the uptime on Sadist. But still, Lexington with killer active, right, is here. Right? Lexington with measured. Lexington with flatline. Lexington with measured is beating flatline. So how is Lexington with flatline best case scenario? Like, it just isn't. Like, this is immediately wrong. We've got so much data on why this is immediately wrong, like, in the first place. Like, it's almost comical. We'll deliver high DPS for the first 17 seconds of the engagement. Most engagements don't last 17 seconds. And if your engagement is lasting 17 seconds or longer, it sounds like you're built incorrectly. After that, the advantage of the St. Elmo's, larger mag, faster reload, higher crit chance, incorrect, and higher crit damage, again incorrect, allows you to deliver more total damage. Why are those two statements incorrect? Well, let me show you, okay? All right. Let's just, I don't know, build in a way in which they'd be even, right? So we've got killer active. They're both at plus 20. Okay. 15% critical hit damage. 10% weapon handling. 15% crit chance. 5. You know what? We'll just do 5. 5. There's our 15% crit chance. There's 70% critical hit damage. Like, you can't tell me that I'm wrong when you can't understand the base values of the game and how that game is then going to interact with them. The only thing Elmo particularly has is actually that reload. Once we start calculating in things like killer at this value, the magazine size for Elmo's equates to literally 5 bullets. That's literally it. 5 bullets. You might as well say Elmo's has a 55 round mag in comparison to Lexington. I've covered this. Now, his next point is the whole sustained DPS, like over a certain period of time, like the reloads add up, sustained DPS will diminish. This is true. And apparently it takes 17 seconds. All right. Would you like to know why this is actually a really, really silly comparison to make? Because when you're calculating sustained DPS, I'm not going to be able to get Unstoppable Force or Killer Active, but when we're calculating sustained DPS, what we're calculating is you doing this. Not moving, well, moving, but if you're moving, you're shooting at the same time, you know. You're not taking into account anything else, anything of where like, oh, I need to stop and use an armor kit or heal up or throw a hive somewhere or crap, can't be there anymore, there's a grenade on the way, I'll move over here. Like, all those little micro movements decrease the overall performance of sustained DPS over time. So what he's calculating is literally you sat there burning into an enemy. There's realistically only really one area where in the entire game, realistically, where you would do this, and that's the lovebirds in the incursion fight, which is why I thought it was funny. I made the joke here of like, and where are you fighting? It's taking 17 seconds. Is you're testing the incursion and only the incursion. Apparently, I can't read my own words today. Yeah, it's like that's the only area where that has any metric, the incursion. Like, so yeah. He then tries to tell me that my numbers are just wrong, bloody, bloody, blah. And I was like, mate, you clearly have no clue. IKEA came to the exact same conclusion. I'm saying Elmo's is dead. IKEA actually still puts a bit of stock in Elmo's. I've given him IKEA's work. And then he sent me a spreadsheet, which I just looked at it. Look like the base values that he has and said, thank you for confirming you have no idea. It's like, in other words, you have no ability to understand the numbers I provided. This is true. But the reason for it is because no one fucking this is what he sent me. Right? Both weapons are at 60% crit chance. Right? They're not taking into account any reds. Like, I don't understand these damage values. Like 75k, 78k. Like this just isn't a thing. This just isn't a thing. And at the top end performing, if you're going to be comparing builds at the top end, they always need to be at the top end. So how? Please explain to me fucking how you have 200% critical hit damage on Elmo, but only 185 on Lexington, because that doesn't make any sense at all. On the top performing build that we have right now with these weapons, it is this, which is 58% crit chance, 140 at base. This puts it to 210 with killer. I'm going to go back. We can now put an Elmo's on. Wherever my Elmo's is. There it is. Alright, this puts it 60 at 145. However, I know for a fact we're over. So we're going to go crit damage. 57, 157. So your values are just immediately incorrect. Now, I tried to go through with what I can only deem as pure fucking comedy, and I have fixed those values for you. However, I have no idea what you're doing here with these base weapon things, because this is just completely inaccurate, which leads this part to be completely inaccurate. The fun part for me was, like, even down here, despite the fact that you told me my number's wrong, can we read that? Total rounds in the weapon, Lexington, 46. 46, really? 46. 46. So the only reason at this point, because you're running the 15 round mag, the only reason at this point of why you're still having Elmo beat Lexington is because you have severely handicapped Lexington. Not only do you have the incorrect values, the incorrect crit stats, the incorrect crit damage stats, you also don't have the appropriate magazine size to draw a direct comparison. And you're going to tell me that my numbers are wrong. I'm going to say this loud, proud, and very clearly. Get fucked.